Very flirty is a light way of putting it. Oh, that's pretty. And they've got a TV. Oh my god, they got a TV in the freaking garden. That's awesome. We make our way to the backyard and I'm stunned by its beauty. It may not be a pool or be a fancy as Taylor's house, but it had a character. It has a freaking TV in the background. The game literally went Viom as the screen blacked out. What? What does that mean? What does Viom mean? Oh, the Viom, the sound. Okay. The sound. Yeah. I understand now. Meow. This is actually my first time in the backyard, and it's clear that Isaac cared for it. Ah, it's so good to know that Isaac cares about his backyard, you know? Take it as you will. And if this was where we would ring in the New Year's, then I'm definitely excited. I'm a bit uncertain if having a huge crowd over is a good idea, but I trust Isaac. Perhaps it would even work in our benefit and let us blend in. If Argus ever did come after us, a crowded party would be the worst place to attack. Something told me that if they wanted to deal with us, they would do so in private.
So, you like it? I've been working on it all week. Had a few coworkers help me out too.
Wow! That is awesome then. Also, like, them dealing with us in private makes a lot of sense because, you know, if they dealt with us in public, that's a bad PR for them.
Looks awesome. Definitely gives me some colony vibes. Everything else in the city is way too bright and high-tech.
Aw, but
Guessing it's the opposite of this?
yes,
If
it
that's
is.
the case, I think I'll pass. The jet is already fancy enough.
And to think, I was about to ask you over for a date.
Aww.
How about we do it at my place instead? We can set the windows to a more romantic view. Maybe the sunset, or even a city skyline.
Wow. Wow. I did not expect that from Zero. Holy hell, Chiron. You're growing fast.
How
Unless
about
you
the
were so
stars?
flirty after
I've
all.
always found them pretty romantic, especially in the dead of night, too.
They are, holy hell, they are hitting it off well.
I'll have to pass on that one. Stars mean something different on the colonies. Definitely not conducive to romance.
Oh, I'm guessing the stars are the usual metaphor for dead people, huh? We all take the seat in the gazebo type thing and start sipping our
Wait,
beer.
what? Stars are different for you?
I'm guessing it's people who passed on.
The meaning of them, yeah. It's just a silly superstition anyway.
But which one is it? The white one is called Chiron. He is a zero, a person not registered in the system, and thereby not allowed in the cities. There are a lot of zeros, so they established numerous colonies outside of the city, where it's more DIY. He was born in a colony and still not allowed to enter, but Isaac smuggled him in and gave him an identity with his server access, yet it is still illegal to shelter a zero. He smuggled him in? Oh? Did you by any chance slip, Jupiter?
I know about that, actually. Seen a lot of people talk about it online.
Anyone care to elaborate?
That's nothing special, but sure. In the city, when someone dies, you say they return to the earth. But on the colonies, it's
That
the
is
opposite.
true
You
also.
say,
He gave him the
"Return to
identity.
stars."
That's one way of smuggling someone in. And yep, that is literally what I expected here. That is such an old allegory to think of stars as past people.
Okay, that sounds so much cooler. Can't believe I've never heard it before.
I'm surprised Isaac has, honestly. There isn't much mingling between our two worlds.
Well, maybe there's somebody who just says
I'm
things.
just a jack of all trades, I guess. Pick up a lot of random facts in retail. Like I always say, people love to
They do.
talk.
Do you ever do it then? You know, gaze up and remember?
What to remember though? I love stars. They are pretty. They are incredibly pretty, and it just makes me remember one of the nights I was out with boys. We just decided to go out into what we just essentially call a spider. It's a spider-shaped, I don't know what you call it, hexagon with seats in it, wooden seats, and it's just shaped like a spider, simple as. and we were just sitting there at night drinking hard liquor. I think we drank like 1 Jack Daniels per head, and that was 1 liter per head, so we totally had like 3 liters of it. Keep that. We just looked at the sky. Personally, just looked at the sky for like a couple hours, and holy hell, it was pretty, and I was able to see a freaking falling star. Oh, it's unforgettable thing.
Oh yeah, all the
I love
time.
stars.
At
They
the
are
very
perfect
least, it's
things.
still a pretty sight.
Did I make a wish? I did not make a wish at the time, honestly. And even if I did, I shouldn't say it, because you know what they say. If you say the wish, it won't come true. Part of me actually thinks that I should have said this freaking wish. And one of those would be to never be alone, you know?
So you're saying all our friends and family are out there somewhere?
Yeah, we're cosmic beings, and this body is just a simple stop. Once it expires, we keep on sailing that vast sea of stars. So even
That's
if we
one way
feel
to see
alone,
it.
we never truly are. Get it?
It's definitely gotten. Makes our views seem super depressing, though.
True.
Yeah, return to the Earth, it's kind of stupid. Yeah, trampling all over everyone that came before you. Now, I'd rather look up and know they're out there somewhere.
True, but being alone is sometimes nice. For me, it's 50-50. You know, like I always live, or at least try to live, each to their own, right? That's why I'm trying the streaming thing. Well, trying. It's not only trying, I will be doing the streaming thing for as long as I can, basically. But I want to build up the community, and I want to kind of surround myself with the people. And I want them to enjoy their time, most of all. Eventually, we will make a Discord server, and I think we're closing in on it.
Do you think they're watching us? You know, to see what we've become?
Making a whole community-based server.
Maybe, but I wouldn't be offended if they aren't. I imagine that limitless opportunities open up when we die. Looking back at Earth is probably the last thing on their mind.
I guess it depends on the person.
Probably. Anyway, Taylor, remember how you said the dead of night?
Alright.
You know how it got that name? A simple superstition.
Well, I'm sorry for suggesting something like that. In the city, we just look at the stars and see infinite potential.
That is also a good way
Chance
of looking
to
at
make
it.
a wish, especially with someone we love.
Yeah, that is actually a very good way of looking at it as well, less negative. And I cannot... like, come on, look at his claws. All I can see in them is incredibly sharp metallic claws. Holy hell. He would be able to
Sounds
kill
like
with
the two go
those.
hand in hand. Making a wish under the watchful eyes of our lost loved ones? And if we're in love, then sharing that wish with a partner? Makes total sense why we'd see it as romantic.
Yeah, exactly.
Speak for yourself, Dante. I don't want my dead ancestors watching me make out. It's enough having the eyes of Argus on me all the time.
That's one way to see it.
I don't think they're literally watching. I think it's more like a spiritual connection that's still in place. When all of us are gone, we'll still be connected by the stars.
So remember, guys and gals, if you're looking at the sky, your ancestors are watching you do things, you know? So do not do the thing today. Don't do it. Remember, they are watching. They see you. Don't do the unspeakable. Never. Oh boy.
Almost like a constellation of our own. It's pretty
Yep.
cool, actually. Kind of looking forward to it.
Looking forward to dying?
Gotta give them show. That's actually one way of looking at it. Some people can be intimidated by something like this, and some can be like, okay, just watch, and just stare them right into the eyes, asserting the dominance, you know?
More like
I'm just
looking
gonna look
forward
you
to
right into the
absolute
eyes.
freedom. Plus, an author dying has never really hurt their career. I'll
True.
be touching more minds and hearts than I ever could while I'm alive.
You will be touching something more soon, Dante, and I'm sure of it.
As morbid as it is, you have a point. I imagine I'll blow up a bit after dying too.
True.
What about you, Klace? Ever thought about that stuff?
Not really.
Really? Never thought about the legacy you'd leave behind?
Well, all we can leave as legacy is what we make of
I
ourselves.
guess I'm just too busy to think about that kind of stuff.
And you like what you've been experiencing?
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
by now, we're all done sipping our beers. Chiron has stopped objecting to the taste. He must have acquired it. Oh, poor boy. Or maybe he's just intoxicated enough that the taste doesn't matter.
Is it okay if I go and get some sleep? We'll be back out here partying in a few days anyway, right?
Yup.
Oh, of course. Don't feel pressured to stay awake. I can tell it's been a busy night for you.
That is a really healthy way of saying that. To be honest, I would be always afraid to ask such a question.
Yeah, it's been a while since I sang like that. Reminds me of how tiring being on tour is.
I don't know, every time I'm on a party, I'm always feeling inclined to never let go and not slow down because I feel like I would be a bummer to other people. Like, I would be a party pooper, as they call it. I freaking hate this name, party pooper. It's such an incredibly bad way of putting it.
Picked a pretty good song, too. I heard some of it on the way out.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Aww.
Still can't believe you sang your own song. Isn't that a little self-serving?
It sounds like it. Same, I'm scared of pooping parties. That's one way of putting it. Zaloid.
It's definitely not like that, Isaac, I promise. Besides, I serviced myself enough last night anyways.
What?
Huh?
What?
He done the unspeakable. Goodbye, Klace. Klace stands up and wobbles like the bus hit him all at once. I jump up and wrap my arms around him. He seems pretty embarrassed.
Delta, just the person I wanted to see. Mind taking me back to my room for a little chat?
I do not mind that. I nod.
Whoa, I'm kind of jealous.
Oh,
Guess you'll be raising your hand next time too then, Delta.
good.
Oh, it's not like that, I promise. We've just both made big moves, you know? It helps to talk with someone in a similar situation.
It does.
I was only joking anyway. Sorry if you're having a hard time.
Guys, we're gonna do the unspeakable with Klace. We're gonna him. Oh, I'm sorry for that.
It's okay, Taylor. I know you well enough by now. Anyway, guess we'll see you all tomorrow?
Yep, see you tomorrow, Klace. Wait, we're going with him, never mind. Everybody looks at each other and then Dante grins.
Raise your hand if you want to go pass out.
I raise my hand.
Already? Really? The night was just getting started.
Let's go to sleep though.
I think it's a good time to cut things short, actually. That walk home really took it out of me.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and the anxiety certainly didn't help. But this was supposed to be a low energy night anyway. Gotta conserve some of our power for New Year's Eve.
Yep.
Boring.
Oh, boo-hoo. Just get some rest, rabbit boy.
It's 4 days away, man. We can go back inside to hang out, but I'm all done partying. Wouldn't want to have too much fun without Klace and Delta anyway.
Fair.
We are the party spirits. Everyone raises their hand as if agreeing with Dante's earlier prompt. Empty beer bottles are thrown into the recycling bin before we re-enter the house. As we all split up, however, I stick with Klace and I take him to his room. My curiosity has piqued. I wonder what he wants to talk about. As we make our way to his room, the chatter and laughter fade into silence. It's replaced with vibration in my pocket. They must be using the group chat. Well, Delta, are you just happy to see me, or is that your phone vibrating? Yes. But right now, I had more important things to take care of. Meow. Right? Is it our room or somebody else's room? As soon as we enter the room, Klace makes sure to shut the door behind. A few moments later, he turns around to face me. He looks completely
Sorry,
sober.
I wasn't even really that drunk. I just needed to get away from everything, you know?
Busted. I'm not sure I know, so I just shrug.
Don't you find it all a little suffocating, Delta? I mean, this fresh start could just put you behind bars. And my little hiatus, instead of inspiring me, could end my career.
I trust that we will come out on top. There is no need to
I
worry.
wish you could spare a bit of your confidence. Tonight was just one panic attack after another. Argus could be waiting around every street corner.
And to be honest, that's why I'm always hopeful, just trying to see the good in upcoming days, even if things are grim. He takes out his phone and unlocks
Did
it.
you know that Cypher isn't the first group to oppose Argus? I've actually been looking into the history of all this. You know, the fight to make zeros more equal.
Right? Cypher isn't the first organization to try? Well, they are definitely gotten further than any other group, that's for sure.
It seems that way, but there's just no way to confirm it. Any information about the groups before Cypher is impossible to find. I can only see that the heads of those groups were apprehended
Alright?
and never seen again.
Oh. What?
There's not a single mention of them after they were taken in. But that's not normal. It's like a scrub job, and a thorough one at that. I recognize the pattern because I've seen it happen in the idol business.
That is incredibly scary, holy
I
hell.
think we're climbing the wrong tree, Delta. And every moment that passes, we get too high to jump back down. It's more than I bargained for, and I just don't know what to do.
We should trust Isaac, he would never put us in danger like
Are
that.
you sure about that, though?
Yep.
Or I mean, maybe he doesn't know about the danger. We may be smaller scale than Cypher, but we're rebelling all the same. If this doesn't end in favor of the Zeros, we'll be in trouble. I think Isaac is operating under the hope that Cypher will win, but after looking into the history of these organizations, I'm skeptical.
I am incredibly skeptical as well, but well, the doubt is a natural thing, you know, kind of like in relationships. What trust is one thing, but self-doubts and general doubts are something entirely else and something you have to get used to, you know? Something like doubts of, will this work out? Will it all be good? And I don't know, I guess the doubt of, do they actually love me, you know? And those are natural things, and like in this situation, same applies. Will it work out? Will Zeros be free? And will Cypher win?
It's very likely that Argus already knows who the leader of Cypher is. And I bet they'll disappear without a trace, too. But Argus won't back down. Any investigation, however small, has a chance of being traced back to us.
We shouldn't feel bad. We're fighting for what's
But
right.
it's against all odds, and that's what worries me. Being a martyr is admirable and all, but not if the people forget you. They could take us out and then scrub our identities from existence.
True.
In the backyard, they were talking about legacies to leave behind. But we're up against Argus. They can snap a finger and we're just gone. No legacy, no martyrdom. We just messed with the wrong group and paid for it.
Well, that happens. There is no sign that we're in any danger. Not at all.
Well, the anxiety of not knowing is really killing me. I'm just not sure if I'm supposed to be part of this group. If we're all caught, then my career would be over and I'd disappear.
Well, what do you care about though? Do you care about your own career or people you're with? Or your life, rather? I really don't think Argus is coming after us,
You don't
Klace.
know how many times I've wanted the turn in Isaac. How many times I've written the text and had my finger over send. It's not easy, living like every day could be your last. It's
Wow.
terrifying.
Oh.
But there's a reason I haven't done it yet. There's a reason I've stuck by your side and everyone else's. I think my instinct to turn and run is just one the label forced on me.
That is worrisome, to be
Like I
honest, what he
said,
just told
if we
us.
were caught, then my career would
I
probably
guess I
be
trust
over.
him a little less now.
It says a lot that I care more about my career than I do about myself. They taught me to put that first, since it's the real moneymaker.
No, I mean, you can have all the money in the world. If you're alone, what of that
I'm
money?
always scared to do things because of how they'd affect my image. Even if they're things I want, and things I know would make me happy. That's why I haven't turned in Isaac. It's what the label would want.
Huh. I guess so. But in the end, he didn't do it, and he didn't even need to tell us. That is true.
But it's not what I want. And I struggle with that every single day. Especially since this hiatus has let me taste independence. Whether we're caught or I go back to work, I'll lose it either way.
Your career wouldn't end if we are caught.
I find that hard to believe. There's not much love in the world for those who defy our leaders. Especially for those who build a platform and use it for subterfuge.
Remember, public opinion is with the Zeros, not Argus. That is true.
I guess you're right.
If Cypher wins, we could be seen as heroes or pioneers.
Hero?
Oh my god, it's so easy to win him over or calm him down. Yeah, if Argus loses, then we won't be the bad guys. Bad use of words that can put more doubt into him.
I guess I just find it hard to believe that we'll come out on top. But you're right. If the tables turn, we'll be on the other side. I'm only just scared because they haven't moved yet.
They will soon remember. They will soon remember what Hermes demanded.
Yeah, a revolution by giving out phones to all the Zeros. They're giving Argus the chance to do it first, but I don't think they will. I'd hate it so much if Zeros dying of starvation was the catalyst for change.
Well, you can hate it, but if that has to be, it is what it is.
Because
Can't do
then,
much.
How do you decide how many lives are enough? At what point would Cypher realize it's time to take action? That both sides see any lives as expendable is just awful.
It is awful, but sometimes you have to look at it this way because the change requires sacrifice. Not all the time, just sometimes. And if it can happen faster because of the sacrifice, I don't see a reason not to take that sacrifice.
But it's the world we live in.
Exactly. With a constanting smirk, he gives me a playful nudge.
If all goes our way, I definitely wouldn't mind being called a hero. And it's good that we're close. Every hero needs a good sidekick, right?
Yep. Heh. I can tell that I've given him enough affirmation. His doubts move aside and I'm met with an optimism. It's a trait that was definitely lacking before we started talking.
So, can I trust in you then? If I'm ever in trouble, you'll come to my rescue?
I figured it would be the hero that rescues the sidekick, actually.
I guess it could go both ways. Then we're more like a team.
Yeah. He looks happy, but also contemplative.
Every good team needs a name, though.
The team, whatever. I don't have an idea. The poor team. Oh my god, that's bad. He clearly having a hard time thinking of a name, so I decided to step up. Given our intentions this far, I have a pretty good idea for our team name. I remember Lost and Clueless. I hold out my hand.
Lost and clueless, huh?
Yep. He smiles and gives me a hand with
Seems to
a
describe a
firm
lot of us
shake.
these days. But I'm starting to see the light on the other side. Maybe Isaac is right. Maybe we will be fine.
We will,
Even
100%.
if we aren't, at least I've got my sidekick. Gotta say, always liked the idea of my own knight in shining armor. Thanks for the chat, Delta. I knew you'd be the right choice.
The horse on a knight in shining armor. Fish out of water,
But
right?
getting used to it more and more. If I ever need someone to talk to again, I'll let you know. That
All right.
diary isn't exactly the best at giving me advice in return.
Yeah, that is true. Diary is just a one-way thing. It's something that helps us decide, but not always. It's kind of like a coin toss. Try it yourself one day. A coin toss is a good old method because it makes you realize what you really want. If you have two options and set one on tails and one on the front, I forgot the whole name of coin things. When the coin falls on the decision you don't want or want, you will immediately know it. So it's not really about sticking to the coin decision, it's about making the decision yourself and affirming it, you know? Making the affirmation that, hey, I do want to choose that or this. I nod and smile, sensing that the conversation has reached its natural end. With a quick good night, he jumps into bed. I take it as my cue to leave. But on the way out of his room, something catches my attention. His diary is resting on the desk that's placed against on the wall. Around it are worrying amounts of empty booze and pill bottles. What? I immediately avert my gaze as I feel it's none of my business. But then immediately look back, a little shocked and worried. Oh my god. In my language, it's head and number. Same, kind of. Head and tails, right. It was clear that this was taking a toll on him, and I hated to see it. But I can't start doubting him. I have to believe in him and his work. We're a team now, after all. He's never turned us in just to save him. At least, that's how I choose to tell myself as I leave him on his own. In an effort to cleanse my mind, I check my phone as soon as I leave the room. It looks like it's business as usual. I don't think anyone knows Klace truly feels. Right now, the main concern is that Dante left his wallet at the Wayfarer. Oh my god, Dante, you clumsy guy. He certainly seems forgetful, doesn't he? Now that I know more about him though, I offer to pick it up in the morning. It was a keepsake and it clearly had meaning to him, despite seeming otherwise. He thanks me and I return to my room. Like last time, I plug in my phone and stare up into the ceiling. But fatigue doesn't take me. It's replaced by a new wave of worry. I worry about what might happen to my friends. But I realize that we're all at the same team. We're in this together. I cling to the feeling of togetherness and hold it deep into a sleepless night. More like a team. Poor guy, huh?